It was 10 o'clock at night. The branches of the great trees in the garden of the Count's house stood out boldly against the azure canopy of heaven, which was studded with golden stars, but where the last fleeting clouds of a vanishing storm yet lingered. From the apartments on the ground floor might be heard the sound of music, with the whirl of the waltz and gallop, while brilliant streams of light shone through the openings of the Venetian blinds. At this moment the garden was only occupied by about 10 servants, who had just received orders from their mistress to prepare the supper, the serenity of the weather continuing to increase. Until now, it had been undecided whether the supper should take place in the dining room, or under a long tent erected on the lawn, but the beautiful blue sky, studded with stars, had settled the question in favor of the lawn. The gardens were illuminated with colored lanterns, according to the Italian custom, and, as is usual in countries where the luxuries of the table, the rarest of all luxuries in their complete form, are well understood, the supper table was loaded with wax lights and flowers. At the time the Countess of Mercer returned to the rooms, after giving her orders, many guests were arriving, more attracted by the charming hospitality of the Countess than by the distinguished position of the Count, for, owing to the good taste of Mercedes, one was sure of finding some devices at her entertainment worthy of describing, or even copying in case of need. Madame Danglars, in whom the events we have related had caused deep anxiety, had hesitated about going to Madame de Mercer's, when during the morning her carriage happened to meet that of Villefort. The latter made a sign, and when the carriages had drawn close together, said, "You are going to Madame de Mercer's, are you not?" "No," replied Madame Danglars, "I am too ill." "You are wrong," replied Villefort, significantly, "it is important that you should be seen there." "Do you think so?" asked the Baroness. "I do. In that case I will go." And the two carriages passed on towards their different destinations. Madame Danglars therefore came, not only beautiful in person, but radiant with splendor. She entered by one door at the time when Mercedes appeared at the door. The Countess took Albert to meet Madame Danglars. He approached, paid her some well-merited compliments on her toilet, and offered his arm to conduct her to a seat. Albert looked around him. "You are looking for my daughter?" said the Baroness, smiling. "I confess it," replied Albert. "Could you have been so cruel as not to bring her?" "Calm yourself. She has met Mademoiselle de Villefort, and has taken her arm. See, they are following us, both in white dresses, one with a bouquet of camellias, the other with one of myosotis. But tell me." "Well, what do you wish to know?" "Will not the Count of Monte Cristo be here tonight?" 17. replied Albert. "What do you mean?" "I only mean that the Count seems the rage," replied the Viscount, smiling, "and that you are the 17th person that has asked me the same question." "The Count is in fashion, I congratulate him upon it." "And have you replied to every one as you have to me?" "Ah, to be sure, I have not answered you. Be satisfied, we shall have this lion, we are among the privileged ones." "Were you at the opera yesterday?" "No. He was there." "Ah, indeed? And did the eccentric person commit any new originality?" "Can he be seen without doing so?" Elssler was dancing in the Diable Boiteau, the Greek princess was in ecstasies. After the cachucha he placed a magnificent ring on the stem of a bouquet, and threw it to the charming danseuse, who, in the third act, to do honor to the gift, reappeared with it on her finger. "And the Greek princess, will she be here?" "No, you will be deprived of that pleasure, her position in the Count's establishment is not sufficiently understood." "Wait, leave me here, and go and speak to Madame de Villefort, who is trying to attract your attention." Albert bowed to Madame Danglars, and advanced towards Madame de Villefort, whose lips opened as he approached. "I wager anything," said Albert, interrupting her, "that I know what you are about to say." "Well, what is it?" "If I guess rightly, will you confess it?" "Yes." "On your honor?" "On my honor." "You were going to ask me if the Count of Monte Cristo had arrived, or was expected." "Not at all. It is not of him that I am now thinking. I was going to ask you if you had received any news of Monsieur Franz." "Yes, yesterday." "What did he tell you?" That he was leaving at the same time as his letter. Well, now then, the Count? The Count will come, of that you may be satisfied. You know that he has another name besides Monte Cristo? No, I did not know it. Monte Cristo is the name of an island, and he has a family name.